Mary W. Jackson was born on April 9, 1921 in Hampton, Virginia. While there isn't much known about her life as a child, she graduated from high school with high honors before she went on to study and earn a dual bachelor's degree in both mathematics and physical science at the Hampton Institute, which is now known as Hampton University, in 1942. Following her graduation, she worked as a math teacher in Maryland for a while before returning to Hampton. Mary began working for the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, the NACA, in 1951, where she got to work alongside other African American women who were also mathematicians. Within this community, Mary was a part of the West Area Computing Unit, or the West Computers. The women within this unit would later be responsible for the success of the U.S. space program. Side note, for those who may be curious, the book Hidden Figures, as well as the film released in 2016, covers the accomplishments made by Mary Jackson and other African American women in the West Computers Unit and how their contributions ultimately allowed for the U.S. to win the space race. 2 years later, Mary left the West Computing Unit to conduct experiments in a high-speed wind tunnel for engineer Kazimierz Zarnecki, which was capable of creating winds approaching twice the speed of sound. Mary was offered hands-on experiences conducting experiments with Zarnecki before she was suggested that she take a training program in order to become an engineer. Seeing as this was still back when schools were still segregated, Mary had to obtain a special permit that allowed her to take classes with white students. Once she passed her classes and completed the necessary courses, Mary Jackson became the first African American female engineer at NASA in 1958. And in that very same year, she co-authored her first report, The Effects of Nose Angles and Mach Number on Transition on Cones at Supersonic Speeds. Mary continued to work as an aerospace engineer for around 20 years, and her work centered mostly around aircrafts and their airflow. Unfortunately, due to her race and most likely her gender, Mary would continue to have trouble looking for management-level positions despite her qualifications. Despite these fallbacks, Mary also took time to contribute to her community and inspire the youth to take an interest in science and engineering. In the 1970s, she helped create a personal wind tunnel for the children in the Hamptons King Street Community Center Science Club so they could conduct their own experiments. By 1979, Mary retired from engineering and became a manager of the women's program at NASA, where she worked to improve the opportunities for women who worked within the organization until she retired from NASA in 1985. Unfortunately, on February 11, 2005, at the age of 83, Mary W. Jackson passed away, leaving behind a lifetime of accomplishments and ultimately contributing to the diversity that we see today within the STEM fields. For some of her other accomplishments, Mary earned the Apollo Group Achievement Award, was named Langley's Volunteer of the Year in 1976, was a Girl Scout troop leader for over 30 years, served as a chair member of one of the center's annual United Way campaigns, and was a member of the National Technical Association.